So now I'm going to do my review of Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ. Now, this is a film directed by Mel Gibson. Sadly, I don't know how to pronounce the cast, but this portrays the story of Christ's crucifixion and persecution in the Bible. So, sorry if it's a little too dark for your kids. If you have any kids. You shouldn't have any kids at 19. But sometimes you do. Anyways, this movie is fairly graphic telling to the events leading up to the crucifixion and the crucifixion itself. This movie released in theaters in 2004. And I'd like to say that I am LDS. A lot of people were converted to my faith specifically because of this movie. Sorry, a friend told me that recently. And it stuck with me, and I wanted to use it for my Passion of the Christ video. Yes, Christ is portrayed very passionately in this movie. It's fitting for the title. Mel Gibson did a good job directing it. The music's good in it. It might be a little bit hard for some people to watch because of the story's sake, and yes, the copy of the movie that I have is in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Latin with English subtitles, which I'm not too upset about, because historically that's what they'd be speaking. Pilate was Latin, and then Christ was Hebrew. So it worked out. The devil in this movie, which I find fascinating, is played by a female. Yeah, the devil in this movie is played by a female. And yes, there's a lot of frightening images coming from Judas, who hangs himself in this movie. But Peter seems to volunteer to go with Christ to the end, faithful to the tale in the Bible of his crucifixion. This movie is getting a sequel next year. Yeah, this movie is going to be getting a sequel soon, I hope. And the sequel is going to be on Christ's resurrection. And okay, I've only seen this movie once. But for the sake of this video, I'm saying I appreciate that it was in Hebrew, Latin, and Aramaic, because that's how it would have been in history. And I get to read the movie in English either way. Even if it was in English, I would probably be watching it with subtitles on. Maybe not. I don't really like watching movies with subtitles, because they distract you from the movie. You like reading the movie, and when it's already a movie you know, predicting the lines. But if you're watching it in a different language, subtitles are fine. Like, I've watched Lord of the Rings in other languages with subtitles, and that's perfectly fine, because I'm not watching it in English. I'm reading it in English, watching it in Spanish, French, Italian, or German, Chinese if I wanted to be super weird. Anyway, yes. This film was an Icon production with 20th Century Fox. And now I'm talking about the rating of this film, which is, it's R-rated because of violence, basically. And then it's 2 hours and 7 minutes long. You should totally watch this movie if you're a Bible scholar. Watch it in Hebrew and Aramaic if you want to, like I did, because it's historically accurate to how it was in history. I mean, yes, Christ had it 10,000 times worse than he had it in this movie. Yeah. So, yeah. Passion of the Christ. If you want to watch it, cool. You know? Invite me over, I'll gladly watch it with you. As with any movies I've reviewed on this channel. Because they're good movies. I do good movies. That's what I do. I don't do movies like 10,000 BC. I'm sorry. 10,000 BC was... It was terrible. Yeah. This is a religious film. I mean, got people to convert to my religion, which is exceptionally awesome. And I'm on to the next movie now. The next episode is going to be a two-parter.